Standing nearly 4 feet tall, on legs built like a crane's, it looks nothing like a bird of prey. Gray body, black leggings, a crown of dark quills fanning back from the skull like pens tucked behind an ear, the detail that gave this bird its name. Most raptors hunt from the sky. This one walks. Across the grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, a secretary bird can cover 20 miles in a single day on foot, quartering back and forth through the grass in long, deliberate strides. Flight remains an option, used mainly for reaching the treetop nest at dusk. Hunting happens on the ground. Why walk when every other raptor on the continent hunt from above? Because the prey it specializes in lives down here and fights back. Where the name came from is still argued. 19th century clerks carried quill pens tucked into their wigs, and the resemblance was obvious enough to stick, though some linguists trace it instead to an Arabic phrase meaning hunter bird, absorbed into French and mangled on the way. Either way, the bird walks. Snakes kill through stillness followed by sudden acceleration. Long stretches of nothing, broken by a movement too quick to see. Watch a secretary bird work a patch of grass and the pattern repeats almost exactly. Patient, low, unhurried, until the instant it isn't. Two hunters, separated by 100 million years of evolution, arriving at the same solution to the same problem. Hidden beneath the elegance is the bird's actual weapon, its legs. Researchers measuring secretary bird strikes clocked the kick at roughly 15 milliseconds from lift to contact, about 10 times faster than a human blink. Force readings came in near 5 times the bird's own body weight, concentrated into a small, blunt, heavily armored foot. 15 milliseconds is the whole margin between a meal and the fatal mistake. Speed matters more than power here. A snake bites in response to movement it can track. The secretary bird moves faster than the tracking. Compare that to the eagle's approach. A martial eagle drops from height, converting altitude into force, and needs open sky to do it. Secretary birds generate everything from a standing position, which is why the wings matter less than the legs. Long legs add a second layer of protection. Even a strike that lands finds thick scales and dense keratin, far from anything vital. Morning light spreads across the Serengeti, and the hunt begins the way it always does, slowly. Step, pause, step again. Each footfall sends vibration through the soil, flushing whatever is hiding beneath the grass. Grasshoppers, lizards, rodents, and occasionally something far more dangerous. A mouse bolts from thick cover. The response takes less than a second. A short hop, a downward stamp, and the animal is dead before the bird has fully settled its weight, swallowed whole, head first, without breaking stride. Rarely does one hunt alone. Secretary birds pair for life, and mated adults work the same territory in loose formation, 40 or 50 yards apart, flushing prey toward each other without any apparent coordination. Small prey makes up most of the diet. Most days end without incident. Today will not be one of those days. Heat builds through the morning, grass turns brittle and loud underfoot, and every step now announces itself to whatever is listening. Coiled in the shade of a termite mound is a black mamba, 6 feet of muscle carrying enough neurotoxin to kill a human in 20 minutes. Nothing on the Savanna hunts a black mamba by choice. No retreat follows. The bird spreads both wings wide, not for flight, but as a shield and a distraction, a moving target for the snake to strike at instead of the body behind it. Mamba lifts. A third of its length rises off the ground, mouth open, tracking the movement. What follows happens too fast to watch in real time. Slowed down, the sequence becomes clear. The bird lifts one leg, drives the foot down onto the snake's skull, and lifts again before the Mamba's strike has traveled halfway to its target. A second stamp lands, then a third. Neural toxin means nothing at all to an animal that never gets bitten. Within a minute, the snake stops moving. Wings fold. The bird stands over the body for several seconds, motionless, as though confirming the outcome before committing to it. Not every attempt ends this way. Secretary birds do get bitten, and a mamba's venom kills them as readily as anything else. Failed hunts go unrecorded far more often than successful ones, which makes the bird's reputation slightly better than its actual record. Carrying the kill back is not part of the plan. Snakes this size are eaten where they fall, torn into sections small enough to swallow. High in a flat-topped acacia sits the reason any of this matters. Inside sits a platform of sticks and grass and two chicks several weeks from their first flight and considerably further from their first successful hunt. Regurgitated meals arrive several times a day, carried in the adult's crop rather than its feet, another consequence of legs built for stamping instead of gripping. Stamping, it turns out, has to be learned. Young secretary birds practice with twigs, clumps of grass, anything that moves. Hundreds of repetitions before the motion becomes accurate enough to matter against something that bites back. Precision in this species is not inherited, it is rehearsed. Fewer of them practice each year. Grassland loss across southern Africa has pushed the secretary bird onto the endangered list, and the bird that needs 20 miles of open ground per day has nowhere to go when that ground becomes farmland. So which is it? A bird that hunts like a snake, or a snake's most reliable predator? Both descriptions fit. Neither one explains to walking. Everything about this animal points the same direction, toward the ground where the dangerous things live, and where almost nothing else with wings is willing to go looking for them.